Our next speaker, our keynote speaker, will be the chairman of our Monetary Council, the Honorable Philip J. Pierre. Honorable Philip J. Pierre is a dedicated politician and a committed district representative with over 30 years of experience in government and opposition. He has held many portfolios over the years, including Deputy Prime Minister, Minister with responsibility for tourism, civil aviation, commerce, investment, consumer affairs, international financial services, infrastructure, port services, and transport. Well-rounded. In 2016, he became the leader of the opposition and political leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party, which he led to victory in July of 2021. On July 28, 2021, he was appointed as St. Lucia's 8th Prime Minister. He's also the Minister of Finance. In July of 2022, Honorable Philip J. Pierre was appointed as the chairman of the Monetary Council. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre, chairman of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank Monetary Council, Prime Minister and Minister of Finance of St. Lucia.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ceremonies. Let me recognize the Prime Minister of St. Kitts Nevis, Dr. Terence Dew, the Governor of the Central Bank, Mr. Timothy Antoine, members of the Monetary Council, past and present, Dr. Vala F. Henry, Deputy Governor, Ms. Tracy Polius, Chief Director, Policy, Eccb management and staff, specially invited guests, members of the media, citizens, residents, and well-wishers of the ECCU, good evening. Good evening. In my capacity as chairman of the Monetary Council, I'm pleased to address you on this commemorative and auspicious occasion, the launch of the celebration of the 40th anniversary of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the Eccb. How many times have you heard reference made to the uncanny foresight of the crafters of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank Agreement of 1983? Since the inception of this visionary agreement, the Eccb has been an example of stability for our region. A region, I hasten to add, that has survived manifold shocks of varying forms and duration, the most recent being the pandemic. The Eccb agreement was forged during a period of great economic uncertainty. The journey to its ratification and enactment was long and arduous, framed by a transition from colonial rule to independence, and punctuated by a series of trade-related political integration and weather-related events. The primary objectives of the central bank are to maintain the stability of the Eastern Caribbean currency and the integrity of the banking system. Pursuant to the first objective, the bank, since July 1976, has maintained the fixed exchange rate pegged to the US dollar at EC 270 to US $1. This arrangement has served the currency union extremely well. It has delivered relatively low inflation and confidence for both consumers and investors, thereby facilitating a stable environment for growth and investment. It is a fact that the EC dollar is one of the most stable currencies in the entire world. In respect of this second objective, there have been occasional difficulties, but our depositors have been protected. Our monetary union is by no means a cure for all. But who among us does not appreciate the assurance provided by a strong and stable currency? Indeed, we are thankful for the fact that we are not plagued with the uncertainty and vulnerability of discovering that our bank deposits have lost their value overnight, as is experienced in some countries with flexible exchange rate regimes. The pool resources of the bank have provided the basis for concessionally fast-tracked borrowing by member countries during cases of extreme economic dislocation, while at the same time holding each country that accesses the bank's credit facilities accountable in the collective. The advantages of our monetary union were clearly displayed during the pandemic, where notwithstanding the complete shutdown of tourism, our lead foreign exchange earning industry, the ECCU member countries were able to access foreign exchange to pay for their imports. Over the past 40 years, the Eccb has continually adapted to the changing needs of the member countries and the external environment. The 1990s was marked by the loss of trade preferences for bananas when the industry was at its peak and accelerated our region's transition to tourism. To support this transition, the Eccb focused its attention on capital market development and the creation of a single financial space for households and firms. This trust gave birth to the following institutions: the Eastern Caribbean Home Mortgage Bank, the Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange, the Eastern Caribbean Securities Commission, the Eastern Caribbean Institute of Banking and Financial Services, the Eastern Caribbean Automated Clearing House, and the Regional Government Securities Market, the RGSM. It is pleasing to note that member countries have raised in excess of $17 billion on the RGSM since its inception to support their fiscal operations and finance their development. In the 2000s, our region was affected by the dot-com bubble, the global financial crisis, and commodity price shocks in oil and food, and several severe hurricanes. These developments greatly impacted the growth of the region and fiscal and debt sustainability. However, the ECCB stood tall and our currency remained strong. New initiatives included Financial Information Month, a regional financial, economic, business, entrepreneurial education campaign launched in 2002 aimed at increasing financial literacy. The establishment of a debt-to-GDP target of 60% in 2003 to entrench fiscal prudence and help reduce debt to sustainable levels. The formulation of an 8-point stabilization and growth program in 2009, encompassing financial programs, fiscal reform, debt management, public sector investment programs, social safety net programs, financial safety net programs, amalgamation of the indigenous commercial banks, and the rationalization, development, and regulation of the insurance sector. In the past decade, the bank has undertaken the following: the launch of its weekly podcast, Eccb Connects, in 2016, the launch of the bank's first ever strategic plan, 2017 to 2021, transforming the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. This plan codified the bank's vision for the socio-economic transformation of the currency union and came at a critical juncture, particularly after the ravages of the 2017 hurricanes. The Growth and Resilience Dialogue since 2017, the transition from paper to polymer currency in 2019, the greening of the ECB campus since 2019, which means that most of the bank's energy needs are powered by solar PV, the first central bank in the region to achieve this feat. The establishment of the Partial Credit Guarantee Program in 2020 to help small businesses access credit with loans of up to $750,000 and a guarantee of 75% for participating financial institutions. The launch of a digital currency, Dcash, in 2021. As you have already heard, the bank has received several global awards for these initiatives and innovation. The 2020s began with a global pandemic of unprecedented proportions. The COVID-19 pandemic placed our health systems under immense pressure, shut down our economies, and worsened the conditions of many of our citizens and businesses. Approximately 1,052 persons succumbed to the disease. The Eccb expeditiously took the following actions: reached an early agreement with the ECCU Bankers Association on a loan payment moratorium for 6 months, which was later extended. Reduced its discount rate to 2% from 6.5% as a means of providing low-cost short-term credit to member governments. Increased government share 75 to 25 from 60 to 40 of the fiduciary issue, which will facilitate additional credit access. Provided financial support to member governments through a $4 million grant from the Fiscal Reserve Tranche 2. Supported the delivery of vaccines donated by the government of India. Launched the Eastern Caribbean Partial Credit Corporation in October 2020, an initiative of the Eccb and the World Bank, established to help micro, small, and medium-sized businesses access financing. Created a program of action for recovery and resilience and transformation of the ECCU. These actions attest to the agility, adaptability, and commitment of the central bank to support member governments in times of unprecedented challenges. I hail the vision and fortitude of the leaders of the bank over these 40 years, including Sir Cecil Jacobs, who served as the first governor from 1983 to 1989, Sir Dwight Venner, who served from 1989 to 2015, and now Governor Timothy Antoine, who has served since 2016. I also wish to recognize the first Deputy Governor, Sir Errol Allen, who served from 1983 to 2005, and the second Deputy Governor, Mr. Trevor Braffett, and excuse me if I say a St. Lucian, who served from 2006 to 2021. I must also hail the past and current members of the Monetary Council, whose calm and collective wisdom and solidarity have been indispensable in troubled times. What about the future? Where do we go from here? The foregoing accomplishments were not without challenges and difficulties. Our region now faces challenges which require fundamental evaluation of our economic management and governance. Therefore, the bank will focus its efforts on strengthening financial stability and promoting macroeconomic development. To that end, the Eccb will continue to work to ensure that the exchange rate arrangement remains firmly anchored and continues to contribute to the economic stability and confidence of our region. The strategic pillars of Eccb's second strategic plan, 2021 to 2026, are financial stability, payment systems modernization and financial inclusion, digital transformation, environmental, social, and corporate governance, and organizational effectiveness. Since my assumption of the chairmanship, I've challenged the bank to develop stronger consumer protection for the people of the ECCU, whom we ultimately serve, in respect of their relationships with banks and other financial institutions. Consequently, I'm pleased to note that the bank is working on a market conduct framework to address these concerns. I also welcome the plans for the introduction of deposit insurance. I also challenge the bank to continue constructive dialogue with credit unions and other indigenous institutions with a view of obtaining sustainability, continuity, efficiency, and profitability. As we reflect on the formative years of this institution and ongoing efforts to actualize its mission and vision, the achievements of the past 40 years are worthy of our collective commendation and applause. These accomplishments reflect in large part effective leadership at both the political, managerial, and technical levels of the bank, strong work ethic and innovation of the Eccb management and staff, strong solidarity and cooperation among member countries, strong support from regional and international partners, and strong support from the people of the currency union. As we launch the 40th anniversary celebrations, I congratulate the Eccb on its tremendous achievements to date. The people of our region will continue to rely on the Eccb as we navigate the ever-changing landscape of financial and economic development. It is your singular duty to tell the world and all the people of the region of your success and accomplishments. We look forward to an exciting year of celebrations. It's my distinct pleasure to now formally declare the commencement of celebrations for the Eccb 40th anniversary. Let the celebrations begin.